This is going to go away without a vaccine. It's going to go away, and we're not going to see it again.
The only way we're going to lose this election is if the election is rigged. Remember that.
I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
After a turbulent 4 years, the world will have to get used to a global order without Donald Trump. In the last few days of his presidency, US President Donald Trump has been passing executive orders, some related to foreign policy, but those that could make things a bit more difficult for his successor, Joe Biden. So what have been Trump's foreign policy bloopers? Here's a look at the last 4 years. Former Secretary of State John Kerry has described Donald Trump as a person who breaks up with allies and writes love letters to dictators. So let's start with North Korea and the unreal bonhomie Donald Trump shared with Kim Jong-un. Though both of them shared a historic handshake in 2019 in the demilitarized zone, but walked away unsuccessfully from the Hanoi summit. And over these years, the North Korean dictator seems to have become even more dangerous, testing ballistic missiles that can go as far as some US cities and also enhancing technology which is dangerous for the world. And as far as Russia is concerned, despite loud cries that there was Russian interference in the 2016 presidential elections, US President Donald Trump seems to have taken the explanations from Vladimir Putin on face value. This despite the fact that there were reports that the US intelligence had evidence to the fact that the Russians tried to interfere in the 2016 elections by various means, some including hacking into the emails of the Democrats as well as into the election infrastructure of the United States of America. But there was one all-powerful person that Trump took on, and that was Chinese President Xi Jinping ahead of the US presidential elections. The Trump administration went all guns blazing against the Communist Party of China, especially in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the last few days, in fact, Donald Trump also banned some of the Chinese payment apps. However, many believe that the new Joe Biden administration might have to take a more calibrated response against the Asian giant, and that Donald Trump has left a tough legacy for Joe Biden on that count. And while Trump was seen largely hobnobbing with autocrats and all-powerful leaders across oceans, he was busy insisting on building a wall with neighbor Mexico. Building an 800 miles long wall, the treatment of the children of illegal immigrants, as well as the fact that he suggested to Mexico that they should pay up for the wall, went down pretty badly with the citizens of America, especially when they saw visuals of the children suffering in the detention camps.
They're going to pay for the wall, and they're going to enjoy it, okay? They're going to enjoy it.
And despite all the criticism, till the very last minute, Donald Trump was hanging on to this legacy by visiting Texas and inspecting the border wall. Meanwhile, Trump leaves behind a pretty bad track record as far as multilateral organizations and deals are concerned. During his regime, US left at least 11 multilateral organizations or agreements, with Donald Trump usually making caustic remarks against these agreements, suggesting that they did not serve any purpose for the Americans. Top of the mind here is the Paris Accord. Signed by 196 countries, Donald Trump said that it was unfair to the American people. He said not only did this deal impose certain economic restrictions on the Americans, but even for the environment, it did nothing good. During the statement announcing that they are pulling out of the Paris Accord, Donald Trump claimed to care for the environment, but it has long been known that he was a climate change denier. And bang in the middle of a pandemic last year, Donald Trump announced that America will not release its share of financial contribution for the World Health Body, the World Health Organization. This despite the fact that America is the largest contributor to WHO. He said that he was upset about the fact that WHO had shown a bias towards China during the COVID-19 pandemic. He also accused the WHO of not informing the world on time of the human-to-human transmission of the coronavirus. There was another UN body that America pulled out of. That was the United Nations Human Rights Commission. Donald Trump, citing an anti-Israel bias, pulled the US out of the UNHRC as well. And finally, and the most important one during his regime, the Iran deal, from which America pulled out despite cries from Germany and France not to renege on the deal. This deal was signed between 5 countries, including Iran, where Iran had said that it would not enhance its nuclear capabilities. With Donald Trump pulling out of the deal and the US imposing sanctions on Iran, it created a lot of friction in West Asia as well. With this, many are left wondering whether Donald Trump has left a bumpy road ahead for Joe Biden. The next 4 years will give us some of the answers.